Looks good.
Okay, wonderful. So thank you for joining us. It may be close to the 894th day of January, but hopefully we're all still talking a little bit about our new year sort of goals and where we are looking to kind of direct ourselves for the year. January tends to be that like really long month because it's cold. It's gotten bitterly cold this particular month. And it kind of like there's like no big holidays or anything kind of going on, so you're sort of just like get through the month. So that sometimes brings on a little bit of like the wintertime blues that makes us sort of feel a little bit down. But hopefully we're enjoying some of the sunshine, even though it is cold, getting outside and getting some fresh air. So we're going to go over some new things, hopefully to you, talking about the new year. Maybe there's some old things that you're already kind of very familiar with and knowing that you're doing the right thing. So, but before we begin, I just wanted to introduce myself. I am a professor at Rutgers University. I do nutrition, health, and wellness with our Department of Family and Community Health Sciences. The organization of Rutgers Cooperative Extension, there's a cooperative extension, if you're not familiar, in every state. So here it's with Rutgers, the land grant university. In New York, it's Cornell. University of Delaware is Delaware. So there's one in every state. So for those of you who aren't familiar, you can always, look that up and see if you're kind of like see their different programs and things. But we do have three departments within our organization of the Agriculture and Natural Resources Department, which many of you may have seen throughout the state with some of the experiment stations that are around, as well as the 4-H Youth Development Department, and then my Department of Family and Community Health Sciences, where, as I said, we focus on nutrition and wellness type topics. And we have partnerships with the State University, obviously, of Rutgers, the State of New Jersey, and the County Boards of Chosen Commissioners, as well as the National Institute of Food and Agriculture for the USDA. So hopefully you'll visit us on social media and follow along. We are an equal opportunity employer, so we like to present this Justice for All poster for all of you to review. And just so you're aware, we are recording this webinar, so you can always go back and refer to it. I will send the link over so it can be posted for those either of you that want to review it again or any that haven't joined us today. So the way we set up our webinar, we keep everyone muted and the videos blocked so that it can kind of get through the presentation sort of in a timely manner. And then at the end, you can put questions in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and we will record the session. But then at the end for the questions, we're going to just go through that separately. So you can ask questions at the end and I'll address those at that point. So to jump right in, resolutions. Okay, that's kind of the big buzzword this time of year. Do you make them? Have you made them? At this point, we're at the end of the month. Sometimes they say within 2 to 3 weeks of the month, resolutions kind of get like, put by the wayside. They just sort of don't, they fizzle out. Hopefully that's not the case. And if you do make them, are you sticking to them? How do you stick to them? What's going on, with you? So we look at January and we're like, it's a new beginning. But the truth of the matter is January, February, August, it doesn't matter. Wherever you're at is a good time to start. Okay. So together, you're going to make yourself a better you, whatever that means to you. So we're going to resolve to your health. We don't have to make specific resolutions like I am going to go to the gym 5 days a week for 3 hours a day. I mean, I applaud anybody who does. I don't know who's got that kind of time, but that is awesome if you do. But it can be very daunting. That's a large ask, especially if you're not really a gym person. And that would be really scary that all of a sudden I've got to get there 5 days a week and 3 hours a day, and I've got to do this and got to do that. Whereas maybe we need to set our goals a little bit more attainable. Maybe we want to do something like just eating healthier. Maybe, you tend to eat or buy, lunch out and you want to make your own lunch now and bring it to work instead of buying it. And, maybe it's a healthier option because it's less processed, or it's foods that you're picking a little bit healthier options for at home. You want to maybe exercise more. Like I said, it doesn't have to be this crazy gym regimen, but it could be, you know what, I'm going to decide my 15-minute break every day. I'm going to go on a walk. Cold, doesn't matter. I'll bundle up. I'll put on my hat, my scarf. I have like hand warmers. I was just talking earlier about that. Like I try to make sure that I get outside because the sunshine and the fresh air does me very good. Also, Mental health is a huge contributor to our not only, well-being overall, but our physical health. If you're not feeling mentally well, you won't want to do anything for yourself physically. So it is very important that make sure we're keeping our mental health in check also. And perhaps, finding more time to fit just little things that make you happy. I always joke, I love to say, oh, I want to read. And I sit down with a book and I fall asleep within like 2 pages. So now I've decided the last like probably 6 months, I do audiobooks. This way, when I'm in the car and I'm driving back and forth, I can throw it on. It kind of comes on automatically. So even if I wasn't planning it, just it picks up where it left off. And I can listen to my audiobook and still feel as if I'm getting that sort of, enrichment in my life. So just remember when you're kind of making your goals, keeping it simple, manageable, attainable, and small steps are really what we're looking for. Because if you set these lofty goals, you're going to potentially, maybe not always, set yourself up for failure. And we want to be setting ourselves up for success. So, as I said, there's no time like the present. So yes, we're still in January, so it's still that time of year. People have these things in their head. But even if it were August and we were saying, "Hey, let's look at this," it would be a good time to start anything. We want these changes to be lasting, and in order for them to be a lasting change, it is those small steps. It's that phrase, "How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time." Because it's just one little thing at a time. Today, maybe I'm going to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into my diet today. And then tomorrow, I'm going to incorporate a different fruit or vegetable into my diet. And you can do just one small thing each day, and it will be adding to the larger success of that goal. Also making sure that, you're trying to, yes, we're trying to overhaul. We're trying to say, yes, lofty goals. Yes, we want to be better. We want to be healthier. We want to have a great lifestyle ahead of us. But it's those smaller kind of little sort of resolutions or goals or setting, attainable things for us to achieve. And then also do yourself a favor and give yourself like a prize and don't make it like a cupcake. Do like a prize, like, you know what, when I finish this item, even if it's not like a health related item and you're I don't know, writing a book. You've always wanted to write a book and you're writing a book. Maybe instead of saying when I write the book, I'm going to go on vacation. That'd be great. That's an awesome goal. However, it's a long way away to write a whole book. Maybe when you get a chapter done, you take a little, time for yourself one day and go do something special for yourself. And then that way you have little goals set up along the way. And then when you get to the large, I finished my novel, you can do the larger, vacation. Or if you could do that, great. But, just sort of setting yourself up for success and having those smaller attainable goals is where we're going to be more successful. So just keeping that in mind really will help you stay in a positive direction. Speaking of positivity, tips for improving your positivity. The mind is a very powerful thing. So having a good positive outlook on life will really help you set forward yourself to, the successes that you're looking to reach. So one thing that you can also do, as we mentioned, of course, eating healthy and being physically active, is getting enough sleep. So there's been studies that show that the average person, not everybody's average, but the average person overall needs anywhere from 7 to 9 hours of sleep. And that can be cumulative if you're somebody who takes like, my husband works late night hours. So he'll take an afternoon nap. So that incorporates into his hours of sleep. I'm not a nap person. I tend to wake up very groggy and like it makes my day all worse. So I don't nap, but he loves a good nap. He can take a good 20-minute nap, feel refreshed and ready to go. I can't do that. So, it depends on the person. And then with that, the studies have shown that people who get adequate amounts of sleep tend to be happier. So it adds to your positivity. And when you're happier, you live longer. So isn't that the goal in life? We're all looking to live a long, happy life. We don't want miserable, short lives. We want long, happy lives. So, it's important to make sure you're getting your sleep so that your brain can kind of have that time to rest and your body and your organs and everything has time to replenish and rejuvenate whatever you've gone through for the day. Your body needs that time during your rest. And quality sleep is important as well. If you end up having issues after like 2 or 3 weeks of some issues with sleep, maybe it's time to speak to a physician. We all have those bouts where, we can't sleep this week, that week, things going on, maybe some stress in life causing, you not to be able to sleep. And that's fine. But after about that 3 to 4 week time span, it might be important to just mention it to a physician and see if there's any recommendations they have for you. Surrounding yourself with good, positive people, like-minded people, encourage good, healthy, positive energy. So, we've all been in those crowds where there's like the Debbie Downer and you're like, oh, like, okay, and you sort of like step back and you're like, yeah, okay, nice talking to you. And you sort of get away from it because you don't like that. You don't, that energy is not something you want to kind of, sort of absorb. You get those positive, happy, jovial kind of people. That is something you just crave. Everybody generally feels that way. So we want that in our lives. So it's important to have that optimism going throughout, different aspects of life. Of course, we always have to deal with different negative things that go on, but it's how we sort of respond to them that makes us be able to handle and cope with stress and negativity and things like that. Some things we can't control, but we have to know how we can respond to them. So focusing on those good things, focusing on something that made you laugh, maybe a task you, like I said, writing a novel, you got the first chapter done and that's awesome. And like focus on the positivity of that, not the negativity of, oh, I didn't get the whole chapter, the whole novel done. No, the positive part is I got a chapter done. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's great. And you can kind of celebrate that goal. So just keeping that in mind and what you can do to help keep yourself positive and those around you as well. How to get started. One thing that I've started to do every morning is a stretching routine. It kind of sounds like, oh, please, I just got to get up and get moving. But and I have my own self, I can tell you, I have noticed a difference on the mornings that I kind of take literally 3 minutes. I mean, to just do some stretches as I get out of bed. I tend to be the person that kind of sleeps like this, like very closed in, everything's sort of like cuddled up tight. That when I start stretching, you're releasing some tension that has built up overnight in your shoulders and your neck, your legs. I tend to like do that fetal position. So I have to stretch my legs and, and the older we get, the more we need this. So having that circulation moving throughout our body helps improve our blood flow and keeping us balanced throughout the day. So it's important. Also, it helps kind of spark those digestive juices and getting that system kind of moving so that as we get up and have a cup of coffee and our breakfast and things like that, your body is starting to sort of wake up appropriately. Another thing, and I'm sure nobody probably will contest this, but the sun. If you wake up and you see the sun and that bright, shining, beautiful ball in the sky the rays are coming down on you, it gives you that positive energy. Sometimes it's harder because we have cloudy, sort of overcast days, but that sunshine really will help sort of get your internal clock going. And, I do wake up before the sunshine. So it is sometimes harder when it's dark, especially as the winter is upon us. But, there are even alarm clocks that you can get on your phone. Your phone can sometimes it'll start to brighten up as you wake up in the morning. If it's I leave mine on my nightstand and it gives you this sunshine app sort of thing to help brighten the room. So you naturally kind of come out of your sleep mode. And then of course, everybody always says it's the most important meal of the day, which is your breakfast. And breakfast literally means breaking the fast. So you have now fasted for what? 8 to 10, 12 hours maybe since you last ate the night before. So your body needs to break the fast. So having a critical, sort of healthful breakfast is very important for your body to get things going throughout the day. Making sure you're staying hydrated. It is not just for quenching your thirst. Oftentimes we get this conversation about, oh, it's not summer and, I'm not really hot and sweaty and it's fine. No, being hydrated and having a cup of water just kind of sitting next to you. That's what's in my mug is water. We just keeping yourself hydrated actually helps replenish different systems throughout your body. It helps improve your mood. It helps keep you stay focused. It will also even improve your quality of sleep at night. So all this fatigue and sluggishness, it might be for other reasons, but the first thing you can do when you're feeling that way, a little agitated, maybe a little headache, feeling kind of not a great day, get yourself some water. And if you're not a water person, especially in the winter, I often drink like an herbal tea that counts as water hydration. So having those warm liquids also is good too, but trying not to be high in sugar or high in like calories. So you're looking for just sort of a good, healthy, hydrating drink. Moving more, being active, getting ourselves and moving. Like I said, the stretching is very important in the morning. It helps your body sort of loosen up, and I tend to hold a lot of tension in like my shoulders and my neck. So even like at work when I'm sitting, at the computer, things like that. So those stretches throughout the day even help. But also knowing that, I'm a big, avid fan, as I said, of being outside, and I love hiking. I have 3 dogs. We're constantly outside all the time. So having that movement in my day to get out and get moving is really critical for me. And it is also obviously something that we can all benefit from. And about every 45 to 60 minutes, we should be getting up and moving if you can. And if you can't get out of like your station, doing some stretches, doing some arm motions, doing some leg motions, raises and stretches and things from where you're at. But really, if you can, get out and walk for just 3 to 5 minutes. Here, especially in the bitterly cold, we'll just walk around our office. I go to the far water cooler to go fill up my water bottle. Just get yourself moving about once every hour. That's very important. And giving yourself that kind of circulation of systems, not just your circulatory system, but all of your body movements, helps the blood flow, helps the focus, helps you be able to do the tasks that you're doing in the day. This also potentially helps reduce your risk for certain diseases like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and even certain cancers. So this in turn will potentially help you live even longer and have a happy, healthy life. Those positivity tips, having good intentions throughout the day, do something that makes you happy, even if it's like, yay, I get to go home after a hard days at work and it was a stressful day. But when you get home, you're like, I'm going to open my book and read for 20 minutes. We have little timers here where, you just turn it one way and it will time whatever, number shows up. And it's just doing that task, even if it's like the 10-15 minute task for that amount of time. So give yourself that time. If I think anything we've learned over the last few years is how important it is to have self-care and take care of ourselves. Being in the moments of stress and work and all the things that we have going on in our lives, it can be very chaotic and it can weigh a lot on us. So it's important to take some time for ourselves, whether it be, midday or when you get home or just, right before bed. If you're a journaler, maybe writing down a few good things about your day and kind of moving on to let it sort of be out there and having that positive. We're looking for no negativity whenever we can. Obviously, we can't avoid all of it, but we're looking to reframe our attitude. What did I learn from this? This happened today. It was so stressful, but what did I learn? What's the positive outcome that came from this? So trying to look at it in that frame of mind is really important as well. That way it helps you kind of settle yourself before it's time for bed. I mean, we've all done the going to sleep where you sort of have sort of a lot of chaos going on in your mind and you don't sleep very well. You don't get good quality sleep. Whereas then it plays into your next day because now you're cranky and things like just are not going to go right. If you sort of let those things sort of kind of write them down or kind of process through your mind, it often leads to a better night's sleep. And then you're able to process things better the next day as well. Snacking is very important. We have those 3 square meals a day, but don't forget snacks. Snacks are important because it helps keep our energy. And it doesn't have to be a full meal. It should just literally be that snack. Little cup of hummus, maybe some cut up carrots, maybe sliced apple with some nut butter, peanut butter, cashew butter, whatever it might be. That helps give you the protein, the crunch, the sweetness, maybe some pretzels or something along those lines. A handful of nuts is a great way. I keep cashews in my drawer so that if I need like a quick little protein boost, I grab those. It gives me a crunch. It's like satisfying. So all things like that. If you have a sweet tooth, we're not saying you can't have a sweet tooth. I've got a sweet tooth. You making your own trail mix. We do this all the time in my house. I will buy raisins or craisins, like cranberry dried craisins. I buy some type of nut, oftentimes like a peanut or something, but we'll even add in some sunflower seeds. We do some sort of cereal, like a whole grain Cheerio or the Chex or something like that. And then for that little sweetness, maybe some mini dark chocolate chips, because the dark chocolate gives you a little antioxidant boost. And you, of course, have to do this in proportion. Clearly, the cereal should be the higher amount of item in this bag. We do, you bring it down by like your dark chocolate chips are going to be the least amount, but you're getting one with every bite. So it satisfies that sweet tooth. You get a crunch, you get a salty, you get a sweet. It really is a nice, enjoyable little snack. And then we even put it in little Ziploc bags and bring it to work as the snack, like that 2, 3 o'clock snack you need in the afternoon. It hits the spot. Just my recommendation. Ecotherapy. I cannot personally stress this enough. I am a true believer in ecotherapy. It is a thing. I didn't make that up. It can help reduce your stress and improve your mental health just by being outside. There are days when I am feeling totally bogged down and stressed. I walk out our back door and I stand there in the sunshine and I let it sort of like rain on me and have those rays of sun, and it could be 20 degrees, and just enjoy and envelop the sounds and the smells and whatever is going on outside. And I almost because it's hard, but almost get like transported to a little different area where you just take 10 minutes and just be. Don't think, don't worry, don't answer a call, don't be on the phone, texting or whatever. Make sure you're just letting yourself enjoy the moment. That is so therapeutic. It's amazing. And if you haven't tried it, definitely try it. Trying to get outside for 10 to 30 minutes a day is really important and really good for your soul, but also your mental health, your physical health, and all of the systems that we're trying to keep everybody being healthy. Walking, even if it's cold, just making sure your environment, we went walking the other day and there were some frozen areas with the dogs. So we had to make sure we weren't walking on the ice. So we have to make sure that your environment is safe for you, well lit if you're going out at night, take a flashlight with you, things like that. But it is important to help clear your mind and help you refocus, and it will reduce your blood pressure and your, stress and improve your mood. Being mindful of that mental health, taking time if you like to meditate, relaxation, whatever it is, maybe watching a funny movie that always makes you laugh every time you watch it, just sitting and relaxing. Have a potluck party with your friends. Let everybody bring their favorite item and just enjoy each other's company. Humor and laughing, this old saying, it is the best medicine. It is important not only for just the mental health and de-stressing, but actually it does help burn calories. It helps work your core if you're laughing really hard and that big hearty belly laugh, things like that. So it's important to make sure that we have some humor and some good times in our life as well. Just some simple tips I put it out here, that we can make our little meals a little healthier. I often love to do this. It's chili season, right? I mean, we make it, well, especially during football season, we make chili a lot, but all throughout the winter, we make different versions of different chilies, whether it be chicken or turkey or beef or whatever, the different kinds of chili. I often throw in a can of pureed pumpkin. It really doesn't taste like anything. And especially if you're adding in all your other seasonings like chili powder and all those other wonderfully colored things, nobody's going to notice that your chicken chili just got a little orange because you already have those seasonings in there. And it really just adds a good nutritional profile and helps add, some extra vitamins and nutrients to your chili. Nobody will notice. I bet you if you tried it, nobody would even taste it. The other thing is adding some beans or legumes to a salad or a side dish. Having, just some beans and rice on the side of your main protein is wonderful. Our family loves to make black bean brownies. I know it sounds kind of weird, but you take a can of black beans, you rinse them a few times, and then you mash them and puree them. And you're basically adding in your items, on the back of the brownie mat box, but you don't have to add in like the egg or something like that. So you can look up a recipe. Sometimes they vary what they say to do. And all it really does is add like a kind of like a chocolatey creaminess to those brownies. And I know it sounds weird because they're beans, but it does. It gives them like a fudgy consistency, and they're so delicious. So just look for different ways that you can kind of have tips and tricks. I love roasted vegetables. Any roasted vegetable will be on my plate. If it's roasted, I'm getting it. Just whatever the roasting process does to these vegetables helps caramelize them, give a different profile of flavor. It is one of the best ways to eat vegetables. I will roast broccoli, carrots, anything, any vegetable, I roast it. And then the other thing you can do, we do like a little cheating of like an apple pie, and we'll slice up apples in our house and just put them in the microwave for a few seconds, maybe 20, 30 seconds, sprinkle cinnamon on top, and you sort of trick your mind to think it's sort of like the filling of an apple pie. And it's delicious and it's nutritious and it kind of warms your belly and makes you feel like that sort of sense of comfort in, after dinner when you're looking for a little snack. So looking at our healthy habits, we're trying to make sure we have the options. We want to make sure our pantry is stocked with healthy options, having low sodium broths or things like quinoa and brown rice, having canned tomatoes to just throw into a recipe when you need it. All of these items are great to keep in your pantry. Even something like non-fat dried milk. It's not really something that too many people use, but putting a little scoop or two in your pancakes or your casseroles, your soups, nobody's going to know the difference, and it adds extra calcium. So it's good, especially as we age, to keep our bones and our calcium level in check. Eggs, not just for breakfast, although I do know they're expensive right now, but having eggs, you could even buy like the liquid form of egg, and making a casserole for dinner and loading it with vegetables or something like that. And if you are eating out, look for items that are grilled or roasted or broiled. That way, those are the healthier options that you can indulge in. So, just some final thoughts. Eating mindfully with good intentions is what we're looking for. This actually will affect your digestion. Have you ever eaten too fast and you're just not feeling good afterwards? You get indigestion, you're feeling that like, oh, feeling? That probably was because of the speed at which you ate that meal, and having just a nice kind of calm, relaxing, oh, how was your day? Things were good. That does play into your digestion, and having that sort of restful meal and just kind of taking time to enjoy it. Avoiding stress when you can, and when you can't, try not to dwell on the things you cannot change. Try to just take time to see how you can sort of respond to help yourself, address the situation, but also keeping your own health in mind as well. Looking for, positivity in life and all the good things, making sure we're exercising, picking good, healthy choices, and being optimistic can be contagious. So kind of surrounding yourself with good supportive people, whether it is a support group to help you exercise more, a support group to be, maybe in a book club, maybe a support group to just be like, hey, listen, we're going to start meal prepping and we want to pick healthier options and get things ready for each lunch this week. Whatever it is, remember your reward is waiting. And these are just a few simple tricks that you can do to help you stay on track. Hopefully you're doing some of them already. And if not, you're already in moving in the right direction because you're sitting here listening to this. So I appreciate it.